Remember when Ash Ketchum from Palatown became a trainer and got his first Pokemon? And he overslept, and all the Pokemon were gone, except for Professor Oak's leftover Pikachu, who gave him the cold shoulder? That's basically what happened to Tony Parker and Tim Duncan before they won them all. All four of them. Duncan didn't talk to me for a whole year. But the question is, why? My name's Jerry, and this is a ClutchPoints original on the season-long cold shoulder Timmy gave Tony, and how a young Frenchman earned the respect of the greatest power forward in NBA history. By the age of 17, Parker followed in his father's footsteps by playing professionally in France. His big-time performance in the 2000 Nike Hoop Summit helped him grab the attention of several college programs in the US. But he chose to skip the NCAA to continue playing professionally. When he finally declared for the draft in 01, the hype around the Frenchman had died down, but he was on the Spurs' radar. Spurs general manager R.C. Buford and then 24-year-old scout Sam Presti saw Tony Parker play in France and were impressed with his game. Popovich was against the idea of going ahead with a European point guard, but Buford and Presti insisted that Pop hold at least a workout for Tony. In Tony Parker's own words, "That was my first workout with an NBA team during the pre-draft process in 01, and it was a disaster. I absolutely sucked, and when it ended, I thought for sure my NBA dreams had ended too." But the Spurs gave Tony another chance, and Popovich admitted he was fantastic. Now, the tricky part was drafting Tony. The Celtics drafted him at 21 while the Spurs watched in agony with the 28th overall pick. They even gave him a Celtics hat, but then, 45 seconds later, they took it back. Boston changed their mind. Tony slipped to number 28, and lo and behold, the greatest point guard in Spurs history was coming to San Antonio. Sounds like smooth sailing from there, right? Nope, because the 19-year-old who spoke broken English had a bully. Tim Duncan hated Tony Parker from day one. When Tim learned Tony would be drafted, he went off. But why are we drafting a European point guard? We'll never win a title with a European point guard. In Tim Duncan's defense, the NBA community in general didn't really understand European players. Tony Parker could have been anybody, a scrub, a star, or even a Celtic. Tim proceeded to give Tony the silent treatment. Tony said, "It was kind of weird coming from France. You have your superstar player that doesn't talk to you as a point guard. It's kind of tough, you know?" That is tough, Tony. With Duncan, it was all about tough love. It's what he got from Pop, and it's what he gave to his teammates. Don't let that calm demeanor deceive you. Duncan said, "He gets here incredibly young, doesn't speak English very well. Pop as usual is trying to convince me that he is this special talent that's going to do something. And I'm just like, whatever." Kind of dismissed him at that point. Despite the lack of communication between the 1 and the 4, the Spurs finished with the second seed in the West. In the first round of the playoffs, they clashed versus the Supersonics. Going up against Tony was a Hall of Famer, Gary Payton. The glove was a tough matchup for anyone. The man guarded Kobe and MJ, and now he's facing a rookie. But Tony was unfazed. He averaged 17.2 points per game against the glove and shot over 50% from everywhere on the floor. The series went down to the wire, with the Spurs winning it 3-2, back in the 5-game series era. Tony was the second leading scorer for the Spurs behind Tim Duncan. If that didn't win Tony respect, nothing would. Tony revealed it was after this series that Duncan finally spoke to him for the very first time. The rest is history. After this playoff run, Duncan and the Spurs saw Tony as a teammate they can go to war with. Along with Manu Ginobili, the Spurs were the blueprint for drafting and developing international players to form one of the most potent dynasties ever seen in the NBA. They were always in the championship mix. What they took away from their playing careers were more than just championships. It was a brotherhood that will last an entire lifetime.